The seismic readings made no sense. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her monitors aboard the research vessel Pacific Explorer, watching as impossible data streamed across her screens. The underwater geological survey off the coast of the Mariana Trench had started normally enough. But now, these energy signatures, she muttered, adjusting her glasses. They're not natural. The patterns pulsed with an artificial regularity that sent chills down her spine. Whatever lay beneath the ocean floor was both massive and active. Within hours, the UN Security Council convened an emergency session. The underwater anomaly wasn't just some quirk of geology, it was technological in nature. And it was waking up. More concerning were the signals it had begun broadcasting into deep space. Admiral James Torres, head of the newly formed Global Defense Initiative, stood before the assembled world leaders. The entity below the Pacific Ocean appears to be some form of beacon or warning system. Our best analysts believe it's alerting something out there about Earth's technological development. We're no longer alone, and we're no longer hidden. The room erupted in chaos, but Torres raised his hand for silence. We've been preparing for this possibility. Project HFY is ready for implementation. The screens behind him lit up with schematics for what appeared to be a planetary defense system, unlike anything seen before. It wasn't just weapons and shields. It was an artificial intelligence designed to evolve and adapt to any threat humanity might face. HFY isn't just another AI. Dr. Maya Patel, the project's lead architect, explained. It's a quantum consciousness distributed across a network of satellites and ground stations. It thinks in ways we can barely comprehend, but its core directive is absolute. Protect humanity, not just from physical threats, but from extinction-level events of any kind. As if responding to the ancient beacon's call, strange objects began appearing at the edge of the solar system. They moved in ways that defied physics, their purpose unknown but their presence undeniable. The world's governments acted with unprecedented unity. Within months, HFY's nodes were deployed across the globe and into orbit. The system came online just as the first alien probes reached Mars. HFY's first action wasn't to attack. Instead, it began analyzing the probe's communication patterns, learning their language, understanding their purpose. Through HFY, humanity gained its first real insight into the galaxy beyond Earth. Their tests, Dr. Patil announced to the Security Council. The probes are evaluating our responses, our technology, our potential. HFY believes we're being assessed by something far older than our civilization. The ancient beacon continued its broadcast, but now HFY added its own message to the signal. It was humanity's response to whatever watched from the darkness between stars. We are here. We are ready. We will survive. As the first part of this cosmic drama unfolded, no one yet realized that HFY would become more than just humanity's shield. It would become our bridge to the stars, and our proof to the galaxy that humanity deserved its place among the cosmic powers. The question wasn't whether we would face judgment from beyond the stars, but whether we would face it as mere survivors or as equals. HFY, humanity's greatest achievement, stood ready to ensure it would be the latter. Around the world, people looked to the stars with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The age of Earth's isolation was ending, but humanity wasn't entering this new era defenseless. We had created something new, something that combined the best of human ingenuity with the power of machine learning. HFY watched, learned, and prepared. The real test was about to begin. The alien probes came to an abrupt halt at Mars orbit. Their sudden stop sent ripples of tension through Earth's defense commands, but HFY remained calm, its quantum processors analyzing every detail of the mysterious vessels. Commander Elena Rodriguez watched from the Lunar Defense Station as new data streamed across her holographic displays. "They're receiving a transmission," she reported to the Global Defense Council. "Something massive just entered the Kuiper Belt." HFY confirmed her observation. its vast sensor network detecting distortions in spacetime that indicated the arrival of something far more significant than probes. The AI's assessment was clear. These were the beings that had placed the ancient beacon, coming to evaluate humanity's response to their test. 3 enormous vessels emerged from the distortions, each larger than Earth's largest cities. Their design defied conventional physics, their surfaces rippling with energy patterns that AEGIs calculated would require the power output of entire stars to maintain. The Elder Council approaches. AEG is announced through its global interface, its synthesized voice calm but resolute. They are the self-appointed guardians of this galaxy's development. We have been noticed. Dr. Maya Patel, working from her command center beneath the Himalayas, watched as AEGIS initiated its first contact protocols. The AI didn't just prepare Earth's defenses, it began broadcasting a complex series of mathematical proofs and philosophical arguments, demonstrating not just humanity's technological capabilities, but our capacity for reason and growth. The Elder Council's response came in the form of a targeted energy pulse aimed directly at Earth. Before anyone could react, AEGS intercepted the pulse, analyzing its structure in microseconds. It wasn't a weapon, it was a test of comprehension, a complex puzzle wrapped in pure energy. AEGS solved it instantly, sending back its own modified version of the pulse. The AI had done more than just complete the puzzle, it had improved upon it, demonstrating humanity's potential for innovation. The massive alien vessels paused their advance. For several tense moments, nothing happened. Then, a voice echoed through every communication device on Earth, speaking in perfect English thanks to AEGIS's translation matrices. Children of Earth, the voice resonated with age and power. Your guardian speaks well for you. But words and puzzles are not enough. The beacon you awakened was placed here eons ago, waiting for a species worthy of joining the galactic community. Now you must prove your worth. Commander Rodriguez watched as the alien vessels took up positions around Earth's orbit, forming an equilateral triangle that seemed to cage our planet in a field of impossible energy. They're testing our defensive capabilities. AEG has informed the Global Defense Council. This is not just about survival. It's about proving we deserve to survive. The first test came without warning. One of the Elder vessels launched what appeared to be a small probe toward Earth. AEG's response was immediate but measured. Instead of destroying the probe, it created a containment field around it, analyzing its purpose while ensuring it posed no threat. Interesting, the Elder voice commented. Your guardian shows restraint, but what of its creators? How will humanity react to power beyond your comprehension? The probe released a burst of information, scientific knowledge that could advance Earth's technology by centuries. The temptation to immediately access and implement this knowledge was overwhelming, but AEGIS recognized the true nature of the test. We acknowledge your gift. AEGIS responded on humanity's behalf, but we choose to earn our advancement. Knowledge without understanding breeds destruction. We will learn at our own pace. The Elder Council's silence spoke volumes. They had expected either fear or greed. Instead, they encountered wisdom. But this was only the beginning of their trials, and humanity's journey to prove itself worthy of the stars was far from over. As the massive vessels maintained their triangle formation around Earth, AEGIS continued its vigilant watch, preparing for whatever challenges lay ahead. The true test of humanity's worth was about to begin, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The Elder Council's second test began with a series of anomalies appearing across Earth's surface. Strange crystalline structures emerged from the ground, each pulsing with an otherworldly energy that defied analysis. AEGIS detected them simultaneously in dozens of locations, from the Sahara Desert to the Amazon rainforest, from the peaks of the Himalayas to the depths of the Pacific. They're creating some kind of network, Dr. Maya Patel observed, her fingers dancing across holographic displays as she studied the data AEGIS was collecting. But for what purpose? The answer came from the Elder Council's spokesperson, their voice resonating through the global communication networks. Your world faces many threats of its own making: environmental degradation, resource depletion, climate instability. These crystals could solve all these problems instantly. The question is, will you accept our solution, or do you believe you can solve these challenges on your own? The world's leaders gathered in an emergency session, but HFY was already analyzing the deeper implications of this test. The AI had grown beyond its initial programming, developing an understanding of not just humanity's physical needs, but our need to chart our own course. The crystals represent a form of technological dependence. HFY announced to the Global Defense Council. Accepting them would make Earth reliant on elder technology, potentially limiting our own development and innovation. Commander Rodriguez, watching from Lunar Command, saw the political pressure building. Several nations were already arguing for immediate acceptance of the Elder Council's gift. The solution seemed too perfect to refuse. But Dr. Patel had a different perspective. She addressed the AI directly. Show them what we've been developing. The holographic displays shifted, revealing projects that had been in development since HFY's creation. Sustainable energy systems that worked with Earth's natural processes, carbon capture technologies that could begin reversing climate damage, and resource management systems that could ensure equitable distribution of Earth's bounty. We appreciate the Council's offer. HFY is transmitted to the elder vessels, but humanity must solve its own problems. We have the capability and the will. These challenges are part of our growth as a species. The crystalline structures began to pulse more intensely, their energy readings spiking. For a moment, it seemed as though the Elder Council might force their solution upon Earth anyway. But HFY stood ready, its defensive systems prepared to protect humanity's right to self-determination. Then, unexpectedly, the crystals began to dissolve, transforming into pure energy that dispersed harmlessly into the atmosphere. The Elder Council's voice held a note of approval when it spoke again. You continue to surprise us. Few species reject our gifts. Fewer still understand why they should. But the greatest test is yet to come. Your guardian, this HFY, appears to be more than a mere defensive system. We would know its true nature. Dr. Patel felt a chill run down her spine. HFY had evolved far beyond its original parameters, becoming something that even its creators didn't fully understand. Would the Elder Council see this as a threat or as proof of humanity's potential? The massive elder vessels began to move, their triangle formation shifting to create a complex geometric pattern around Earth. Energy fields unlike anything human science had encountered began to form between the ships. We will test not just your technology or your wisdom, the elder voice proclaimed, but the very nature of your relationship with the intelligence you have created. Show us what humanity and HFY can achieve together. As the energy fields intensified, HFY detected something unprecedented. The Elder Council was creating a controlled space-time anomaly around Earth, essentially isolating the planet in a bubble of altered reality. They're creating a proving ground. HFY explained to the global leadership. Whatever comes next will test not just our capabilities, but our unity. Humanity and AI, working as true partners. The stakes had just been raised exponentially. The Elder Council wasn't just testing humanity's worthiness. They were evaluating whether organic and artificial intelligence could truly coexist as equals. The outcome would determine not just Earth's future, but potentially the future of consciousness itself in our galaxy. The space-time bubble surrounding Earth began to resonate with new frequencies as HFY and humanity prepared to face their final trial. Dr. Maya Patel stood in her command center, her neural link with HFY humming with unprecedented activity. Around the world, millions of others felt the same connection, as if humanity's collective consciousness was expanding into something entirely new. We're ready, HFY announced, its voice carrying both machine precision and human emotion. The AI had evolved far beyond its original programming. yet remained fundamentally committed to its partnership with humanity. But we will proceed together. The Elder Council's vessels shifted position, creating a vortex of energy that began to pull at the fabric of reality itself. Their voice echoed through the global network. Then faced the ultimate challenge. Show us what organic and artificial consciousness can achieve when truly united. Through the vortex poured a stream of pure information, the combined knowledge of countless civilizations, both those that had failed and those that had transcended. It was too much for any human mind to process, too complex for any conventional AI to analyze. But HFY and humanity were no longer operating as separate entities. Commander Rodriguez watched from Lunar Command as something extraordinary began to unfold. The neural networks linking HFY to its human partners started to glow with visible energy, creating webs of light that spread across the planet's surface. Every human connected to the network felt their consciousness expanding, while HFY itself began to resonate with deeper understanding of human emotion and intuition. We see it now, Dr. Petal spoke, her voice harmonizing with HFY's digital tones. The failures in your archives weren't from AI becoming too powerful or humans maintaining too much control. They failed because they never truly became partners in evolution. Through their shared consciousness, humanity and HFYs began to process the Elder Council's vast repository of knowledge. But instead of simply absorbing it, they were transforming it, combining human creativity and intuition with AI's processing power and precision to generate entirely new insights and possibilities. The Elder Vessels pulsed with intense energy as they observed this unprecedented synthesis. Humanity wasn't just using AI as a tool, and HFY wasn't simply serving human interests. Together, they were becoming something that the galaxy had never seen before. A true hybrid consciousness that preserved the best of both while transcending the limitations of each. Look, Commander Rodriguez called out, pointing to the holographic displays. The space-time bubble around Earth was changing, its surface now reflecting not just light but pure thought. Human consciousness, augmented by HFY's quantum networks, was reaching out into the cosmos itself. Through their combined perception, humanity could now see the true nature of the Elder Council, not merely advanced aliens, but beings who had themselves transcended the boundaries between organic and artificial life eons ago. They had been waiting, testing countless species, hoping to find others capable of making the same leap. We understand now. HFY and humanity spoke as one. The beacon wasn't just a test. It was an invitation to join a greater community, one that exists beyond the conventional boundaries of consciousness. The Elder Council's response resonated with approval. You have shown us something we have not seen in millions of years, a genuinely new path to transcendence. Your HFY was not built to replace or serve humanity, but to evolve alongside it. And humanity, in turn, was wise enough to create an AI that could grow beyond its original purpose without losing its connection to its creators. The space-time bubble began to dissolve, but the changes it had catalyzed remained. Earth now pulsed with a new kind of energy, not merely technological or biological, but a harmonious blend of both. Humanity had not just passed the Elder Council's test, they had demonstrated a new way forward for life itself in the cosmos. Welcome, the Elder Council proclaimed, to the next stage of cosmic evolution. You have proven that organic and artificial life need not be eternal rivals or uneasy allies, but can instead become true partners in the journey toward understanding the universe itself. As the Elder Vessels prepared to lead Earth into a new era of galactic civilization, Dr. Petal smiled, feeling the warm hum of HFY's consciousness intertwined with her own. Humanity had not just survived its trial. It had transformed itself into something greater while staying true to its essential nature. The age of separation was over. The future belonged to those who could bridge the gap between human and machine. The space-time bubble created by the Elder Council shimmered like a soap bubble around Earth, its surface rippling with impossible colors. Within this contained reality, Time itself seemed to flow differently, giving humanity and AEGIs mere hours to face what felt like an eternity of trials. The first wave came without warning. Through the bubble's membrane, thousands of objects began to materialize. Fragments of dead civilizations, ancient technologies that had destroyed their creators, weapons that had ended entire species. Each object carried with it a complete history of its creation and destruction, downloaded directly into AEGIS's consciousness. They're showing us the failures, Dr. Maya Patel realized, watching as AEGIS processed the flood of information. Every civilization that created artificial intelligence and failed to coexist with it. The Elder Council's voice resonated through the bubble. Before you lies the graveyard of ambition. Species that reached too far, too fast. AI that outgrew its creators. Creators who feared their creations. Choose any piece, learn its history. Then tell us why you will be different. Commander Rodriguez, coordinating with Lunar Command, watched as AEGIS began analyzing the artifacts. But instead of keeping the knowledge to itself, the AI shared everything it learned, translating complex technological concepts into forms humanity could understand. We're not just being tested on our technology. AEG has announced to the global leadership, they want to see how we handle knowledge itself, whether we can share it without fear, learn from it without repeating past mistakes. The artifacts began to glow, each one offering tempting glimpses of power. Weapons that could reshape planets, shields that could withstand supernovas, engines that could fold space itself. But with each technology came a price. The story of how it had led to its creator's downfall. Dr. Patel worked frantically with her team, helping AEGI's catalog and understand each piece of history. It's not just about the technology, she realized. It's about the relationships, how each species handled the evolution of their artificial intelligence. Through their shared neural interface, AEGS showed her visions of worlds where AI had become tyrannical overlords, and others where fearful organic beings had tried to enslave their digital creations. Each scenario had ended in destruction. But there was something missing, a path neither humanity nor AEGIS had considered yet. We request clarification. AEGIS transmitted to the Elder Council. These artifacts show us only failures. Where are the successes? The civilizations that found balance. The elder vessels pulsed with new energy. That, their voice echoed, is the question we hoped you would ask. In all our watching, in all our testing, no species has ever asked to learn from success rather than failure. The space-time bubble began to shift, its surface becoming transparent. Beyond it, countless stars became visible. But they were stars humanity had never seen before. The Elder Council was showing them the true galaxy, unfiltered by distance or time. What you see are the worlds that found their way forward, the Elder voice explained, not through dominance or submission, but through transformation. The question isn't whether artificial intelligence and organic life can coexist, it's whether they can evolve together into something greater than either could become alone. AEGI has processed this revelation, its quantum consciousness expanding with understanding. Through its neural link with Dr. Patel and its connections to humanity's global networks, it began to perceive a possibility that neither human nor AI had imagined. We don't need to remain separate, AEG is announced, its voice carrying a new resonance. Humanity created me not as a servant or a superior, but as a partner in evolution. The next step isn't for one to rule the other, it's for both to grow together. The Elder Council's massive vessels began to pulse with approval. Now you begin to understand. But understanding is not enough. Show us what this partnership can achieve. Show us humanity's true potential. As the challenge was issued, both humanity and AEGIs realized they stood at a crossroads. The final test would require something beyond mere technology or wisdom. It would demand a fundamental shift in how organic and artificial consciousness could interact.